In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Well, hello, and welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Ooh, guys.
Spooky.
Just as we planned, it's episode 60.
It's episode checks notes 60.
37 takes, and that was the best one.
To be fair, we only realised it was 60 about, 30 seconds ago.
God,
oh, no,
you just...
I shouldn't say... No,
Oh,
don't say that.
30 episodes ago.
Don't let them
behind
behind the curtain.
Kind of hurt curtain there.
Well, let's be brutally honest here. I didn't imagine we'd live this long, but how
No.
did you imagine you would be spending our 60th episode together?
I kind of thought we'd be doing an outdoor event to thousands of adoring fans who would be throwing
I thought we'd be world famous by now.
Yeah, articles of clothing would be flying onto the stage, top hats, garter belts, regular belts.
Sanding belts.
Sanding belts, yeah.
Conveyor belts.
All the belts. We're just getting a load of belts.
In all fairness, for the current, we can lay a lot of blame at the hands of the current economic slump we're all in. I'm sure if it weren't for the coronavirus situation, we'd be famous by now.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'd have thought so.
If anything good has come out of this, it's the fact that we can use it as a way to blame why we're not doing as well as we'd hoped to be.
It is wonderful. It's like the entire world got a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Why are you
It's
not hitting
amazing.
your targets? Oh, coronavirus.
Well,
it's the virus though. I wish we could, but virus just ate up all our bandwidth.
Why didn't you sign in to our team meeting on Microsoft Teams early this morning? Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just dealing with a lot at the moment. Yeah. Okay, so you're definitely not cooking eggs with no trousers on. No, I'm
absolutely not.
Very busy. No, sorry.
Your wildlife webcam in your garden is still on and streaming, and I can see into your living room. And those eggs, they're not cooking themselves. I'm telling you that. And I can see your junk as well.
How are you all keeping?
Good.
Fine. Same as the last 7 weeks. Or so.
That is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, is it 7 weeks?
Is that it's all kind of blurring into
so.
one. I feel like we've either been like this forever or it's just been a week, and there's nothing in between that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I painted the bathroom, and I can't even remember when it was.
We painted the bathroom too.
It feels like I did it years ago, and at the same time, it feels like I just finished.
See, here's the thing that worries me is that we painted the bathroom, but now I'm not sure if that's you having painted the bathroom, and that I just think that I am.
You think I transferred it onto you?
Or that
like a virus almost.
Is there really any individuality anymore? Like, did we all paint the bathroom?
We are all
probably.
slowly morphing into the same person. I mean, pretty much everyone has that same haircut now.
Yeah, and also, no one's got any anecdotes anymore. So you say, how's it going? And you're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually we are going to, all three of us, come up with the same hate in a certain episode.
I've been fearing that date for a long time, and genuinely, this could be the time. Maybe this episode 60, is the one.
Could happen.
If it happens, is that a sign that we're doing really well or we're doing really badly?
I think badly.
I would
because
say
we've run
badly
out.
Also, yes,
because we've run out. What I should mention to listeners at home is that we never tell each other what our hates are in advance of the show.
We never talk when we're not recording.
We don't know. So right now, I have no idea. I have no idea what you guys' hates are.
No.
I mean, really, that's the magic.
I think one time we inverted commas scripted it was the Cheltenham Literature Festival.
Yes, that one
we actually discussed what we were going to talk about because we needed to be public facing at that point.
Because we were at a literature festival. I still can't believe that happened.
Well, yeah. I mean, you talking about it now, I'm getting heart palpitations. Not only were we outside, we were in a tent with 100 or
Load
so
of strangers.
people.
Like the air was thick with other people's vapors. We were breathing other people more than we were fresh air.
I'm kind of terrified that when this does lift and I start commuting to work again, my legs are just going to snap because I've lost like so much muscle mass from.
Yeah, I just wheel around the house in an office chair all the time, even down the stairs.
He built like a stair lift where it just latches on and slides down the stairs.
You've got like one of those Fisher Price little red cars with like the yellow roof, and you just scootle around the house.
Scootle?
Yeah, like
Scootle.
because
around.
it's still child size, so like really you can only get your pelvis into it, so the rest of you is just kind of like trailing out of it.
I use a tin opener to get into it.
Didn't someone actually build one of those, like an adult-sized motorized one?
Yeah, there was
Sure,
one at
it's
a
out
Comic Con. There was one at
Yeah.
a Comic Con, and I think Ali and I took a picture.
I remember
of it.
Comic Cons.
It actually, yeah, right. It actually had a little genuine petrol because the toy ones had a petrol flap.
Yeah.
But you could just put like vomit or cream in there or something. But like
Yeah.
this
Oh, sure.
actually had a petrol and an engine, I presume, as well. They must have driven it in.
That's a good effort. / completely pointless.
Completely pointless. Yeah.
When this is all over, what do you reckon the first thing you'll actively do? Like, not the thing you kind of have to do, because it might come at an inopportune time, and
What sort of over are we talking here?
Well, when we get the word, when the word comes in, like we know it's coming,
The
word,
word from up high.
Yes, when the word arrives that we've accrued enough COVID points, which I believe is the drive of this entire exercise.
Enough of your loved ones have perished.
Yes,
what you've said is clearer than the guidance we've received. So okay, keep going.
It's like the latest briefing is like describing the rules of some really arcane game. Now, when you have enough COVID points, you can trade those in for a COVID moment.
But red COVID points. That's green COVID points.
At the end of the day, we will subtract any green COVID moments, but count the red COVID moments. Blue COVID moments are worth double, providing you have no green COVID moments
And
in your kitty.
Providing that it's autumn, of course, at the time.
Providing you can draw a picture of a bicycle.
You can trade 5 blue COVID moments and a picture of a bicycle in for a headmaster's COVID moment. It's also called a moment. It's confusing, and I got confused then saying it.
I don't know why.
It's really very clear.
I really don't know why I said moment. It was frankly, a very confusing wording, an already confusing presentation.
Sadly, because you said moment already, now I can only think of the word moment. So I will continue to say moment as well.
I think somehow I was trying to think of a board game, and instead I started thinking of, wasn't it like a chocolate which used to be advertised with like the song Magic Moments?
Maybe.
Quality Street.
Quality Street. I was thinking Quality Street, yeah.
Right, you were thinking of Quality Street in the middle of your talk about the coronavirus.
Oh, here's a thing that suddenly sprung into my brain.
Oh, and on another subject.
I saw a video about a short video, it's quite entertaining, about the correct way to play Monopoly.
Right.
Because they said, if you're trapped at home with family during this crisis, you'll probably want another reason to fall out, so why not play Monopoly? And they were like, but everyone always gets it wrong. So how do you actually play it properly? So they got the US champion Monopoly player.
There's a champion?
Yeah, apparently there are world championships. It's not of Monopoly.
Surely if you're the Monopoly world champion and you play competitively, there couldn't be anything worse during lockdown than playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
He just wants to ask game of Cluedo.
Yeah. Palate cleanser.
So here's a pop quiz for you. What is officially the best colour to go for?
So what variables must I take into account here?
Well, I guess
Brown.
you're thinking cost, so kind of like cost versus reward, like trade-off.
I'm thinking somewhere down the middle, like red.
I think that's too safe. I'm thinking it's brown. Go all the way to the cheapest.
No. Well, Rev is closer. It's the orange. Because apparently it's a combination of relatively affordable and when you look at like the average dice roll, people are more likely to land
I see.
on the oranges. And did you know, and I didn't know this, if you so you play Monopoly, okay? Yeah, there's a brief Okay, come with me
Imagine
on
this.
this journey.
Imagine this. Paint me a picture with your words, John.
It's too much.
Okay. So you play Monopoly, and there's a break in the screaming just for like a few seconds, and somebody makes a move, and they land. It's the first move of the game, and they land on, say, a brown.
I knocked my
brown.
piece off. I don't know where I am again. I need to find where I am. Oh no.
And they go, I don't want it.
Yeah.
What happens? When you're playing the correct rules of Monopoly, what should happen next?
Doesn't it go up for auctioning?
Yes, Nick's onto it.
I think that's in the rules. I know.
But no one's read the rules.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So what? All the other players must put a silent bid on or something.
Well, yeah, no. It's apparently
It's a
like
local bid,
whenever anybody lands on anything, if they don't want to buy it, it has to go up for auction.
Yeah.
It accelerates the game a bit, which is good.
It would.
What if you're only playing with two people? You go, oh, I don't want it. The other person could then buy it for £1.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I don't.
There are holes in this rule.
But I guess it would mean it would force somebody to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm very proud to say I don't own a copy of Monopoly.
I've got the movie Solo version of Monopoly.
Why?
That's
It
remarkably
was a
specific.
gift. We have played it actually. It was a gift.
Okay.
I lost, so I threw a straw. I'm not proud of it, but it happened.
Monopoly is one of those games where I always feel, wouldn't it be fun to do it just once? Like, just once, do it properly. Like, maybe, because all my memories of Monopoly are people falling out while playing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Every time I've played it with more than two people who aren't me, I've had an argument.
But it's also not fun either. Like, it's not a fun game. It's just not.
Maybe we're doing it wrong.
Well, the thing is that the game was apparently built as satire, wasn't it? It was built as a way to satirize capitalism. It wasn't really, I don't think, ever meant to be like good. It was meant to be a pain in the ass, and you were meant to fall out because that's what capitalism does to society. And then, like, Hasbro picked it up and were like, "Yeah, this is cool."
People like capitalism.
Don't Hasbro own Ouija, the Ouija board?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a game, apparently. Like, it's
Yes.
built as a game, but it's been co-opted into spooks.
That's why, like, whenever supposedly there's like a haunted house, like some kind of ghost exploration program or something.
Ghost Boys.
Ghost Boys, you know. Hey,
Yes.
we're the Ghost Boys. Come
Yo,
on
yo,
down.
yo! Come on down to the Ghost Boys mansion.
We're the Ghoul Lads.
The cool lads.
That's the ITV knockoff. With
Yeah.
the gulags, you don't really hear the space, do you? It kind of just runs.
No, but they can provide their own like sponsored range of goulash. So there's that. Goulad's
Nice.
goulash coming out
Nice.
hot, piping hot into your mouth hole.
But like, okay, so say you're watching the gulag. It's really hard to say.
The goulads.
The
And they're eating
Goulads.
goulash.
The
Sponsored
gulags
by-
are eating
yeah, they're
goulash.
always eating goulash. They're just walking around the mansion eating goulash.
Nick, please. I'm trying. The gulags are eating
Bit of
goulash.
culture. Bit of culture. Come on.
The gulags are eating goulash in the gulag, and they're
The
investigating.
the Ghoul Lab.
And they've got to get their findings back to the ghoul lab. And
Yeah, the ghoul Labrador.
they want to.
That's what a twist.
What a twist.
You assume it's a laboratory, but it's actually a Labrador.
It wasn't a laboratory at all. But it
Okay.
is a Labrador and it is haunted.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay.
it is and it has been dead for 10 years.
Come with me on this journey.
Okay, John, we're with you.
Okay, and they want to contact a ghoul
Yes,
using a Ouija board.
let's say so.
They have to credit.
From Hasbro.
That's the point. Well, there are no Ouija boards that aren't from Hasbro.
Well, there might be print and play Ouija boards. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess there might be like a bootleg one.
Yeah.
But like,
But that's not
goes-
official, so it doesn't
everyone
work.
goes like, oh, the Ouija board is like this ancient.
Yeah.
Ancient spiritualist ritual. It's so sacred. It's like, nope, it was like manufactured in I
Yeah,
don't know, 1954 or
1981.
something.
Yeah, it's made of like extruded plastic. It's brightly coloured. It's safe to. You won't choke on it. It's super child safe.
they made it out of leftover Monopoly pieces. Like that little thing everyone's pushing around. That's actually just a top hat.
Yeah.
And nobody noticed. And McGool is always like Papa Moneybags or whatever.
That's why people always think
Rich
they
Uncle
see...
Pennybags.
That's why people always think they see ghosts, though, because the little top hat's made of lead, and they're like all touching this lead and then licking their fingers, and they're hallucinating and seeing like a goulash spirit, you know.
Someone got a hate.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, there's a show here.
Anyone feeling?
You go first, John.
Go
Okay,
on, John, you go.
Okay, I've got a hate. Is this for one? Is this for moment where we're all in complete sync?
This is why I'm excited, because I think there's a very real chance that this is the one.
Go on, yeah.
Okay. I hate my increased reliance on online shopping.
Oh, okay. This is not that episode.
This is, no, we've not got there yet.
We dodged a bullet.
Whew, thank God for that. Your increased reliance on online shopping. Yes, right. Okay.
Okay.
What
now,
have you been buying?
Talk to me.
Okay. So, I was going to say my normal life, but this is normal now.
This is the
This
new
is
normal.
the new normal.
This is the new normal. Okay, so up until now, I lived kind of like a Hasiatic monk. Like I didn't really do or go. Well, I went places, but basically,
You
like
didn't do anything.
no, I
You
didn't.
went
I
to-
didn't
you
really
went to the
do
pub.
anything. Yeah, I like mostly what I spent money on was alcohol. I'm, like a beer every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then.
Every day, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I enjoyed myself. Like I always was of the mindset of like every time I went to buy something, every time I got like a little notion into my head that like oh, there's a thing where if I purchased it, I would get joy, and thus I would feel happy. Every time I was like, oh, I think I want one of those. By the time I went to look it up and click and go, and you know, the internal kind of discussion is like, well, I have a job, I have no children, I could buy that thing.
I'm allowed to have a thing for me.
And they're not
just
even
for
big.
John.
Yeah, thank you. They're not even big things. It's not like I'm going, oh, I desperately want like a new car, or I want
No, it's like food for a week or something. Like, you know.
yeah. Well, I mean.
You probably need that with or without children, to be honest.
Yeah, you know, a bit of nourishment. Like when you take, if you assume like you're paying for utilities, a roof over your head, food, get that out of the way.
Sure.
I'm talking luxury items. But my definition of luxury is so much lower than I think what actual luxury is.
Sure.
So the point I'm making is a small luxury, like a small luxury would mean a lot to me. Like if I saw like, 20 pounds for I don't know, I'm trying to think of something really practical I might buy. I don't know, like a flat cap. Yeah. Okay, let's say, what if I go, I'm a man who has a fat head and I can't find...
Especially expanded flat cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've talked about that on this show before, I believe.
Okay. What if I said to myself, hats never fit me, but if I spent £20 at a specialist manufacturer, I could get a special hat stretcher which could like expand a hat to fit my gargantuan kind of forehead.
Yeah.
And I'd go, that is a comparatively small investment for something which would improve my life so much in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
And in the time it took me to bring it up on Amazon, move it into my basket, and then click complete purchase, I would talk myself out of it. Like, I just would go, no, you know what? I don't really need it.
Yeah, I've always known that you're not the kind of person who buys a lot of stuff for themselves, if you see what I mean.
Thank you.
I remember we went on a toy run in one of the very early episodes of this podcast, and the guilt you felt after that.
I don't deserve
that's money that could have gone into my pension.
You know, that was meant to be me turning it all around. That was meant to be me going, you know what? I'm going to start like collecting Transformers. And I've still got that original Transformer we put.
That's right.
I'm staring at it now. Yeah.
I'm going to start collecting, and I've got one. Yeah.
I've got a collection of one Transformers.
And it's a fine collection.
Yeah.
You know, it's never going to be
I bought you a pound shop knockoff version.
Yeah, exactly. So you got two.
Oh, God, yeah, I don't know what happened to that one.
Yeah.
I've got another one for you, actually, for your next birthday. So.
I think it disintegrated, if I'm honest.
I bulk bought them just for like all your next birthdays.
Oh, you've got it. You've
So
got
you were
it.
like, oh, I got you a transmorpher from Poundland. I'm like,
Well,
oh, it's
I think they were called like changing robots. I think
Yes.
that was a brand name.
It's just called a changing robot.
Yeah, I don't think they turn into like vehicles. They turn into like fruits and vegetables.
But like I opened it and I went, oh wow, it's amazing. You said, for God's sake, keep the volume down, because otherwise like the vibrations will shatter it, basically.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't talk
Yeah.
too loudly around this very, very fragile plastic toy.
Well, anyway,
Anyway,
so that was the old John. Now-
right.
Tell me about the new John. I want to know about him.
Well, because New John physically can't go anywhere now, and I think, Nick, you mentioned off air that you kind of felt that you'd had like a pay rise because you now
Don't spend any money on
don't
fuel.
spend any money.
Yeah, I'm the same. My savings are looking astonishingly good at the moment.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
I know. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was like some way that we didn't require like some terrible global pandemic, but what if there was some way where every year everybody could agree there's going to be 1 month where nobody does anything. And everyone's going to stop at the same time, so the economy won't crash because we
Yeah.
just won't do anything.
That's true.
And we'll all just kind of store up money again.
Can you imagine how that month would go, though, if that was the norm? People would just buy things out of some sense of rebellion.
Yeah.
So at the start of every month, I always go, oh, yeah, it's going to be a quiet month. And then 3 weeks later, I've been to every Gillingham game. I've spent £150 a time. I've gone out for a meal every Friday.
Well,
For some reason, I've got a gold statue in my front room.
I feel you're kind of skirting the edge of a bigger undiagnosed problem there,
Well,
relating
maybe,
to
yeah.
Gillingham.
Oh, I don't think so.
But anyway, so I'm saying old John always managed to talk himself out of buying stuff, and then new John, who is basically run out of DIY in the house, is like, you know what?
I want to buy things.
Could just buy that thing. I mean, that's bad, right?
I think it's a positive improvement on your character, John. If anything,
Well, thank you. So thank you.
depending on what it is you bought.
Well, I've bought some sensible stuff. So I've bought I've bought a new office chair.
Okay.
Okay, if I didn't get the resounding commentary, I
Well,
was
that
hoping
sounds that sounds like something you need rather than something.
Well, thank
want.
you. Yeah, so I got a.
That wasn't a compliment.
Well, bear with
No,
me.
it really wasn't. It really.
Okay. So I was like, okay, my back is hurting, so I'm gonna get a proper office chair. I've also ordered, I don't know, like 3 crates of beer,
Yeah.
Okay, that's more like it. Now,
which
Oh,
I've kind
you
of
got-
worked my way
See,
through.
that's
Yeah,
good.
thank you.
that's a treat for John.
I've also ordered a new razor for shaving my face and hair.
Okay,
I'd say that's something you need.
yeah, that's more of a need.
Okay, I these kind of felt very extravagant for me, so
I bought a big bag of family-sized rice.
I also invested £20 in a manual beer bottle capping machine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we saw
I
it on
saw
your
that.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, which came with 100 bottle caps. So I'll never need to purchase
that
it.
is something for you because that's a hobby of yours. But
Well,
I think
maybe
that's
the
a
beer.
bargain. So I think that's like printing your own money, really.
Thank you. And I also went a little crazy,
Oh,
Oh,
And-
hello, here we go. This is
and
going to be good.
and I spent £15 on a whetstone
for knives.
for knives. Yes,
I see.
and then I sharpened every knife in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's a hell of a weekend. Whew.
Right. I think the only things you can count there as part of the reformed John are
Yeah.
beer, and you're only buying it because you can't go to the shops.
No, but
only
old John
kidding.
bought beer as well. I don't think that counts.
And partially
It's
because
practically medicine at this point.
I kept sending you the links, so it's
Yes,
partly
no,
my
you
fault.
did. Yeah, no, you really are an enabler. I
Yeah.
must say.
Everything else I'd say was a practical thing
Bottle
you
cap,
required.
the bottle cap machine.
The
I'll
bottle
allow.
cap is arguable, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I'll-
you're
I'll
right.
allow
No,
it.
I definitely. No, I really crossed the line there. It was
No,
bad.
it's good. No.
No.
Is your beer
no,
still
no.
brewing?
You've-
Is your home brew still going?
No.
Yeah, in fact, I bottled it on Friday, so it will be drinkable in a week and a half.
Is that right?
Maybe we
Well,
should
sorry,
do a tasting on the podcast.
Let me rephrase that. It will be drinkable.
Drinkable, inverted commas.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh! Should we all drink it for the first time on the show?
That'd be amazing.
I think we should. Yeah.
So if you could deliver a bottle to each of us, this is my way.
Yeah,
of
no, I will.
ensuring I get a bottle.
I'll do a door.
Yeah.
I'll be
It's
like
a not so subtle way of getting some free beer.
I'll be an old timey kind of like newspaper boy. I'll just be like
just lob
chucking bottles. Well, I should say it's got it smells like beer.
That's good.
That's a good start.
And I got a little bit in my mouth when I was
By accident.
when I was siphoning. Yeah, by accident.
And I only went blind for half an hour.
Yeah, it's like Lucy wakes up in the middle of the night. It's like, where's he gone? Like there's a light on downstairs. Are you licking the inside of a brewing pot again? No.
Just
No, dear, go back to bed.
You just hear a big crash of crockery and everything.
But yeah, it smells like beer. It looks like beer. It kind of it does kind of taste a little bit like beer because I did get a bit in my mouth.
Okay.
But now it's been bottled. It's meant to kind of second ferment, which there's a second fermentation going on. So you're meant to leave it for 2 weeks and then whack it in the fridge and then drink it the next day. So we shall see what comes of it. It's very hard to tell. Like I'm looking at the bottles and
Will it be like fizzy, like slightly fizzy?
Yeah, that's what's meant to happen.
Okay.
That's the second fermentation.
I think it's going to be good. I'm excited about it.
I think it might be
positive.
the last thing we ever see. I think we might go blind.
That's
No,
fine.
That's
It's not
fine.
like
what a way for my eyesight to go.
It's not like my whole career depends on my eyes.
My eyes have been doing nothing but looking for 34 years, so
Yeah, they could take a break.
it's time they had a rest.
I mean, I've seen everything in my house now, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I guess kind of saying it out loud, I didn't really go too crazy.
I think you could go crazier, John.
I just feel I've opened a door that I'll never be able to close now.
If you, without limits, like any limits whatsoever, what would be your dream purchase?
Oh God, I know the accent is so pathetic. I would purchase house numbers
What for your house?
for my house.
You could do that now. Why don't you,
You
do
could
that
literally do that while we're talking.
I know, that's the thing. I've been weighing it up, and I've been thinking, can I justify actually buying a house? House number?
Let me help you.
Do you have a house number on your house?
No, that's what I mean.
That again sounds like a necessity to me.
Yeah, it has transgressed into necessity.
Have you thought
territory.
about the postman at all while you've not got any numbers on your house, John?
And yet, somehow, all these other incredibly extravagant things found their way to me without a house number.
Yeah, but that postman fucking hates you.
I think the postman would find their job a lot easier if you had numbers on your house.
Every time he's delivering, he gets to your house. He's like, "Where am I?" Oh.
I've got to say
imagine you're a new postman to the area. You've not been
Yeah.
down your street before.
He's a rookie postman.
There's a moment there where the fear of God goes into this rookie postman that he might have delivered something to the wrong house.
I'm in the wrong town.
You could make that go away before it even happens, John.
It is funny you mentioned that because I the other day I came downstairs. I just had my shower, and Lucy said, "Oh, don't worry, I took receipt of your new office chair."
Oh yeah.
And I said, "Haven't actually ordered an office chair, and we just have this massive box sitting in the hallway."
Okay.
And yeah, it turns out it was for the house 6 doors down.
Well,
there you
go.
There you go. You've only got yourself to blame for this.
Yeah, although something good came out of it because we delivered the office chair to that house.
I wouldn't have bothered. They should have come to you.
Actually, it probably would have been a victimless crime. Well, not a victimless crime, but they never would have found me because I don't have a number on my house.
Apart from
So wait,
victims.
it was an office chair, just not yours.
Yes.
That's insane.
And then you.
Well,
bought
the thing is,
an
I
office chair.
had yes because I carried.
It's got a lot of twists and turns. This story.
Well, that's what
Very
I'm saying.
exciting.
It's heartwarming. Yeah, we carried their chair over to their house, had a conversation on the driveway at a
You're
safe
a mug,
distance.
John. You are a mug for doing that.
But it's only 6 doors down. It wasn't that far.
That's too. I wouldn't take something that big next door.
Well, there you go.
Well,
I would
mean-
wait for them to come to me, and if they don't come in, say 10 days, then it's my chair.
It's
One
legally
episode
yours.
ago, you were bemoaning the fact that your neighbour hadn't stolen your fridge off your driveway.
Yeah, well, that's because they're sensible and they don't go lugging heavy things around the neighbourhood like you do.
I made a friend. Well, I mean, I met a neighbour. You know,
What did they say?
they said, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah.
It was a bit hard to hear him over the shotgun blasts, but once I crawl my way back over the barbed wire, we had a perfectly nice conversation. Yeah. It turns out, it turns out we move in similar circles. It was a very pleasant meeting.
Delightful.
And that wouldn't have happened if we'd had a number on our house. So clearly, I don't need numbers.
But for every nice conversation, you're going to have someone who's like yells at you.
Yeah.
I think the next one, you'll be like, "Oh, I've got to get some numbers on my house."
Quick. Any numbers will do at this point.
I think you should get some numbers, John.
I think I've got half a tub of No More Nails under the sink. I could probably just sculpt some numbers on the front of my house.
This is your opportunity, because I've always wondered this about houses, right? Sometimes houses have names, like I'm going to call my house Rivendell, and they don't have a number out the front of their house at all. And they just here's my question: can you just go, my house is going to be Rivendell now from Lord of the Rings? I'm just going to write Rivendell on the front of my house, and then from now on, when I give my address out, I'll just write Rivendell at the top, and then the rest of my address. Can you do that?
I don't know.
I reckon it would get to you, but you probably have to go through some legal mumbo jumbo to actually officially do it.
But surely
I think the post service, as long as it's got a certain level of detail, they will find you. Because
this is the
they
thing,
will kill you.
My Liam Neeson's delivering my office chair that's sharpened into a point. But like the postman just looks at the envelope, or the postman before the postman, if you see what I mean, the big fat postman at the center of the world, where all the packages arrive before they're distributed out.
He looks a bit like the Kingpin from Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he has 19 legs and arms.
Yeah.
And so he can manage all the packages at once. And he looks at it and he goes, "Oh right, Rivendell," and then he sees the postcode. And then he just puts that in that postcode batch, and then it arrives with the postman, and he delivers it to Rivendell.
Thing is, again, if I was the postman, every time I saw a package that said Rivendell on it, I'd just go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same. Like if it's just called Remembrance, Reading. Oh, for God's sake! You're killing me.
It's like the title of a poem. Remembrance Reading.
My grandparents, their house has a name, quite a nice little name.
All right. Okay. What is it?
Is it a Welsh name?
Well, it's in the English, it's called Anchorage, because it's finding your, which of course in Welsh is pronounced.
Yeah, I thought it
such
might
a beautiful
have a lot of L's
language.
in it.
So elegant, so divine.
Yeah, so my love is my gross, rampant, uncontrolled capitalism, which you've both convinced me I need to rein in a bit. So,
oh my God,
thank you.
You sound like you've turned into a bit of a monster, John.
Yeah, you're out of control, but hey, at least you're trying new things. That's what matters.
Yeah, it's very important. I can hit you with a hate.
Oh, it's not too much trouble.
My hate is the obsession of society that things that are homemade are somehow better.
Okay.
Right.
When someone says to me, "Oh, try these biscuits, they're homemade," I think, right, okay, so I'm going to eat these biscuits that you've made from ingredients that have taken you hours and hours to make, and the end result is something that tastes slightly less good than what I could buy in the shops.
The thing is, if you can prove anything by speaking in a sarcastic tone. If you said the exact same words but in a very
there's a reason
manner.
Things are mass produced, and that is that they were delicious in the first place. Just eat them. It's like, I've made homemade pasta. Well, there's nothing wrong with the pasta I've got. It's like expertly made by people who actually know what they're doing, and or robots who also work to a precision.
That's not true for Twinkies, I would argue.
What, homemade Twinkies?
No, just like like the attempt to create a treat that was manufactured has resulted in something quite vile, I would argue.
But then would a homemade version of that be slightly worse?
Well, I feel like they would
that is a language and scientific impossibility.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I feel like the closest attempt would be putting fresh cream into a sponge, and that would be far, far superior.
Would you ever feel that, like, sometimes with those mass-produced snacks, while you could, presumably with minimal effort, make a better version at home, it probably wouldn't be. It would no longer be the thing you're trying to make.
Do you think you could make a better version at home of something that is in a supermarket? Let's say a Jaffa cake.
No, categorically no.
No,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, try my Jaffa cakes. They're homemade. Oh,
it's just a shit version of a Jaffa cake.
It's just something you've put a lot of effort into, and I have to socially say, delicious.
I'm never making
Whereas
anything
what I
you.
actually think is, these are a bit plainer and a bit more floury than the Jaffa cakes I can buy in a shop, which are perfectly good.
They're rustic.
Yeah.
Like that.
But why do I need that? I live in the 21st century.
I don't buy a pack of Jaffa cakes.
Why have you put a lot of effort in for me to ultimately be slightly disappointed?
That's the thing. If I pick up a tube of Jaffa cakes and eat it entirely on my own, which is the only way to enjoy it.
That has happened.
It's easy though, because they're like eating little clouds. They're gone before you know it.
They don't count. They just
little orange clouds.
But I don't buy a pack. I don't buy a lunch pack of 10 Jaffa cakes in the hope that I don't know, maybe 8 of them are good. No, I demand 100% perfection all the time. Which you don't buy Jaffa cakes for the rustic individuality of each cake.
No, but that Jaffa cakes is an example. But would you not agree that if someone says, "Oh, try this, it's homemade," that's generally socially seen as a good thing?
No, I'm kind of agreeing with you.
But I'm questioning why.
I think it varies from thing to thing though, because I think there are some things like I think your example of like biscuits and stuff is probably true, but that's because they just pile additives and sugar and shit into that. Whereas
delicious additives.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. It's totally like fucking delicious, but people don't add those things when they're making their own, so that's why it maybe doesn't taste as good. But then you get like homemade cake is often like way better than like a supermarket cake.
Depends what you're dealing with. Depends on the precision of, say, a Spider-Man head cake.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
The decoration is often or always better than if a person does it. Even if you're watching the Bake Off and someone does a really elaborate cake, I sometimes just think,
but that tastes like shit.
That looks a bit shit. These are the best people in the country.
I know, and I've lived 33 eventful years on this planet. I've eaten many cakes and I've travelled many places, and I've still yet to find a better cake than the Tesco's own brand clown cake, which is the default cake. It is basically cake zero.
Well, I think for one of your most recent birthdays, John, we just bought you the plain white circle cake from Tesco.
It's amazing.
The cake that's meant to be a base for design and to express.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they come with like little squirty things?
We chuck them
which
I
so
fast
throw away.
It's like John doesn't need that. John just needs a white circle.
There's a few variants that have maybe like 3 balloons like in a corner, and that's a bit ostentatious for me. I'll tolerate that.
That's too much.
Keep your sprinkles. Like if you gave me a perfectly white circular cake which I could eat alone in a white room, I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, maybe that should be your next extravagant purchase.
That's all I want.
When people go, "Oh, I rolled this pasta myself and I made it from hand," why? You've got pasta in the cupboard.
It's a fair point. It is yeah.
There's an obsession here that homemade is somehow better.
There's also that attitude that like maybe everything in the supermarket is secretly trying to poison you.
Yeah, the whole no, I don't eat supermarket food because it's all got chemicals and shit in it. It's like, well, everything is made of chemicals though, so that's.
Well, yeah, but it's also, but unless you're eating basically like an apple, maybe like a cube of cheese, and a square of ham, which you hacked off a carcass that morning.
Yes.
You're not. Nobody's eating pure, undiluted food. It just doesn't exist. So you go like, would you like a Mr. Kipling's deep dish apple pie?
I would, John. Yes, please.
Not that deep, is it? Not that deep.
Well, it's fairly deep. It's like an inch deep.
It's like 2/3 full.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
it's mostly hollow.
I'm not counting weight per volume ratio. I'm dealing with just the
Chris, you're arguing against your point here, so just say.
Well, no,
Kipling's
I'm
great.
arguing against John's poor example.
Okay.
Well, no, because that negative space in the cake is filled with positive words from Mr. Kipling himself. Like he personally talks to every cake every pie as it goes out.
I had a pie the other day and I bit into it. It just went "fuck you," and I was like, "Oh, that's not a good one."
I had some bad pie the other day.
That's Kipling's old crispy voice. "Fuck you, boy! Put my pie down."
You bite in and go, the final part of the will is found at this address. And kind of like fades away.
Whatever you do, don't stop listening.
Don't take another bite or the mystery will die with me.
I can't help it. It's too delicious with its 2/3 filling.
My point is, if you offered somebody a Mr. Kipling deep dish apple pie, and they said, "Oh, no, thank you, I only eat homemade apple pies," I'm like, it's an apple pie.
Yeah.
It's not
Also,
vitamins D or something.
But then, if I give you the same scenario but with different sort of social,
Okay, let's workshop it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
repercussions.
What character am I?
I say-
I'll be Derek.
Hi-
I'm Derek. Hi.
Hi, Derek.
Hello.
It's your friend Charles here.
I've
I'm
got
a
a
waiter.
sock fetish.
I'm a waiter.
I-
Gentlemen, hello. Would either of you care for a drink in my establishment, which you're currently meeting in?
Yes, please. Put it in a sock, though.
What's your name? For the purposes of this, what's your name?
My name is Graham.
Graham. Fine.
Hi, Graham.
What's your name?
Hi, Graham. Hi, Graham. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to do an anecdote.
Wow.
So then
Bad day for Graham.
Really bad day.
bad day for Graham. There goes my smile.
Oh, I'm flagging here.
No, I will have a drink, Graham. Actually, I'll have a delicious Freedom Lager.
Not a sponsor.
Very good, sir.
Now get out of my face. So if Graham or I then come and go, oh hello, whatever Nick's character's name is,
Let's say Francis.
Francis. I think it was something different, but
It
that's
was,
fine.
but who cares?
Hello, Francis. Would you like a Mr.
I'm a-
Your
Pie?
Freedom Lager, sir. Your Freedom Lager, sir. I returned.
Shut
with
up,
it.
Graham.
I'm a new person. I'm Francis. I was someone else earlier.
Francis, I went to the shop earlier and I bought a 6-pack of Mr. Kipling apple pies. Or I have a pie here that I slaved over for hours. What would you like?
I'm allergic to apples. Oh.
Sir, you can't bring food. Sir, I'm so sorry. You can't bring food into this establishment. What are you doing?
We're in my house. Graham. Now shut up.
Graham, what's
going on? Graham.
Who's that? Graham.
You would,
Graham, who's
I
that?
dare,
That's my
I
sir,
dare
please. That's
say
my
you-
manager. He's quite angry.
How did your manager?
Cash. What are you doing?
Is he in your larder? What? Like, what is happening?
I have a speech impediment. Please don't draw attention to it.
Sirs,
I dare say,
what
in
are you
that
doing?
social situation, you would say, "Oh, I'll try some of your homemade apple pie." But what you're actually thinking is, "Oh, for fuck's sake,
Please leave, sir.
I want some Mr. Kipling, but I'm gonna have to eat their homemade pie."
Sir, my job is on the line. What are you doing?
This isn't a
Please
podcast.
leave. Stop making a fuss.
We're making a scene. Now serve me my drink in a sock, Graham. Just like I
I'll have
demanded.
I'll have my Freedom Lager to go. Spit spot
And scene.
and scene. That was good.
That was really good.
improv.
I think we all did very well.
But sorry, you were trying to say something, Rev.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, I forgot what it was.
I reckon both a homemade apple pie and a Mr. Kipling apple pie are both lovely. There are very few situations in which I would turn down a homemade apple pie.
That's the thing. I think if I was offered those two, although I know exactly how tasty a Mr. Kipling Bramley apple pie is, and therefore that's the constant, there's a very real chance that homemade apple pie, I mean, it's a maybe a smaller chance, but there is a chance that it's better.
I think it's an unnecessary risk.
I'd be thinking, can't I have both?
Well, that's a good point, actually.
I don't think one.
I'll accept that point.
I don't think one naturally supersedes the other. They're merely different.
Can I have one as a garnish on the other, please?
Well, a Mr. Kipling apple pie is so small it barely counts.
Yeah, it's like a cherry on top.
Anyway, don't offer me homemade stuff because I probably will eat it, but I'll be slightly disappointed.
Well, that's duly noted. Lucky for you, I don't really bake.
Unless you
so-
don't have any shop bought stuff, in which case I will have the homemade option.
That's the
Oh,
thing.
right,
You
okay.
would very rarely turn down an apple pie. But again, like, nobody's eating. If you're eating Mr. Kipling, if you've got a 6-pack of Mr. Kiplings to yourself, that's just a good evening. You know,
No, it does sound like a good evening.
that's not good for you. I mean, yeah.
What would your ideal accompaniment to an apple pie be? Well, I would have custard, for example.
Vanilla ice cream.
Would it?
I would invite Mr. Kipling himself over, I think.
Is Mr. Kipling dead? Did he ever exist?
What, in our hearts, or
Oh, no.
like, to me, or to the world, or
Is he like Father Christmas or Bob Geldof?
Yeah, is he a real... Are you going to search it, John?
no? I'm just leaning towards my second screen. I could be googling anything.
Yeah, you probably are.
Look it up, John.
I reckon... Here's my guess. My guess is
I'd like
that-
to think he did live.
Yeah,
at
that's
some
my
point.
guess. He was a real person.
He's saying, like, I'd like to think he is dead. You know, I'll sleep better. I'll sleep better tonight.
Things seem simpler that way.
He's very good at pies, so if he's gone, then we've all got a fucking chance, I guess.
I'm horrified to report that the Mr. Kipling brand was created in the 1960s
Oh, what?
by Rank Hovis McDougall,
Okay.
I mean,
which is, I hope
why
it
wasn't that? Why wasn't that the brand name?
I hope that
yeah.
wasn't
Rank apple pies, they could have called it.
RHM PLC, formerly known as Ranks Hovis McDougall, was a United Kingdom food business. Thank you, Wikipedia.
A food business.
Yes, apparently Rank Hovis McDougall created Mr. Kipling out of whole cloth in the 1960s
That
to
is
boost,
fucking bullshit. I'm so
Yeah,
angry.
I'm
boost
not
their
very happy
cake
about that, I must
sales.
admit.
That is out. But I feel like I've been lied to for my whole life.
It is apparently the market leader in the UK of.
But there's a reason it's become the market leader, and that is because they make exceedingly good cakes.
Apparently, exceedingly 2/3 filled cakes.
But do you know what I mean? There's a reason the mass made food has become mass marketed, and that is because it was so delicious in the first place. Someone said, "Oh, you should mass market this." Whereas homemade pie, no one's ever said, "Oh, this is so good."
Well, they
you
don't
should
have the
mass
same.
market it."
They don't have the same distribution infrastructure. I'd argue. You know, the homemade.
But McDougall had to
circuit.
start from somewhere.
here's
He
a pop
started by
quiz for you.
lying about a man.
Yeah, true.
Gentlemen,
Bastard.
please.
Oh, sorry,
If you-
Derek.
if now that you know that there is a Mr. Kipling Wikipedia page,
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay,
if
cool.
there was going to be one cake or pie of everything Mr. Kipling makes that would get its own heading on the Wikipedia page, what would it be?
Well, I want to say apple, but I feel like that is the trick here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Apple pie seems the most obvious.
I'm gonna say Bakewell tart.
Chris
I'm
Ray.
gonna go for Viennese whirl.
No, I'm afraid it is the French fancy,
I like a French fancy.
Yeah,
which
I
is,
do.
which is apparently 30% sugar. That may be
Wow.
their secret.
That's
may
not
have-
enough. That's not enough sugar.
Wow,
they
wow,
have
wow, wow,
blown
wow.
that wide open.
Well, I think we've answered that one. It's just more sugar. If in doubt, add more sugar at the end.
Yeah.
You got to hate, Nick.
I have, yes. I hate the fact that my cat's turds are grey now. They're grey. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
What happened? What did you do? Stop feeding her ash.
Well, yeah. I mean, like inspired. I'm sort of speechless.
Now
at
you
my-
say grey. Is there a different texture to it?
yeah, they're very they look like pieces of grey chalk now.
Does it look like Sauron's finger after
Yeah, it does a
Aragorn's
bit.
ancestor cuts it off?
Yeah, you know how it kind of shrivels a little bit and sort
Yeah.
of goes kind of zombified. Yeah. I think I might start calling them Sauron's finger now. Oh,
God.
oh no! Oh, Dumpling done another Sauron's finger.
Dumpling's done another Sauron severed finger.
Does everyone come with a gold ring around it?
God, I'd be rich if they did.
Yeah.
We recently switched to that to Whiskers because she was getting a bit picky, and you talked at length about that cat on the front.
That
And I-
sexy ass cat.
That sexy
Yeah.
cat, and
That's
I
such
think
a good looking cat.
it just
I think about
bored-
that cat all the time.
I know, like the picture you painted was enough to keep me up all night and just thinking about the cat. And then
In multiple ways.
yeah, like some deviant ways. And like, I think like then when I went, well, I didn't go to the shop, but I think I then imparted this imprint of the cat onto Ali. I talked for hours and days and weeks, and everything just blurred into one kind of afternoon where I was just expressing the importance of this cat. And so Ali came home with a load of it. And now we've
God,
switched.
this proves that advertising works. This is awful.
Yeah, we've got loads of that sexy cat lying around now. And then so Dumpling loves it.
How do you get anything else done?
Well, I don't. Yeah.
I'm just staring at the can of Whiskers all day.
Ah, there it is. And then then the poos gradually over about 3 or 4 days gradiented from a healthy brown to a shocking grey. It's really
like a lightning grey.
It's like someone you know when you desaturate an image on Photoshop and everything sort of all the images just it's like someone like some spooky like desaturation man just snuck into my house and was like, I'll steal the colour from your cat's turds. That's what it looks unnaturally grey, like the colour has been removed from the world around it. It's horrible.
Is that a offshoot of something Whiskers have done? Or is that Dumpling's age?
I think it must be Whiskers because, like, it's happened at the exact time that the food changed.
I'm so challenged by this. Like, I don't often.
Is there any precedent for this? I'm gonna have a look.
Oh yeah, good idea. Search whether Whiskers makes my cat food.
Whiskers
shit, great.
Grey poo.
Yeah, use quotation marks so it gets the exact phrasing in.
Because that will be the phrasing. It'll probably be on the Whiskers website on the FAQ.
Grey poo. Sexy cat.
Sexy cat.
The first one that's come up here is from catthevet.com and it says, let's talk about poo.
Oh, yeah, let's.
Finally.
That's what I was hoping.
And the first line of this blog is, I love talking about poo.
Oh, I think you're in the wrong place, Chris. Back up.
And this is from Cat Admin.
Cat Admin?
Cat admin.
Cat admin.
I'm not sure if that's a cause or consequence of my profession. I don't know what they do for a living. But either way, it's a good thing because I spend a lot, capital letters, of time discussing it.
On the
this
forums.
isn't simply for enjoyment, you understand.
It's a compulsion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
help
calling.
I mean, there's nothing obvious in my Google search that suggests Whiskers traditionally turns a cat's poo grey.
The thing is, we feed Bradley Whiskers. Other brands are available.
Yes, you do.
And I don't believe his turds are like an ashen Dark Wong's finger. And yet he also poos outside as God intended. So I don't.
Yeah,
know.
does he ever poo inside? Do you get to see his poos that often?
Occasionally he does. We have if there's times where he's hurt himself and we've had to keep him indoors.
Sure. I've cleaned his poo for him.
Yeah, was it grey?
You didn't ask me to. I just felt like doing it.
Just let yourself in.
I just have a spare key. I just let myself in, have a look at Bradley's poo, and I just walk out. Usually about 2 a.m.
You wrote that blog post, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Have a look at a turd, lick the brewing pot, and
I watch you sleep for a little while, and then I just go home.
You got to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great way to spend a night.
It'd be rude for me to come to John's house and just look at poo.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I've got to watch him sleep for a bit.
You'd say that was rude, John, if you knew about it.
It's just good manners.
I do remember that one time I woke up and you were standing over me and you were twirling an ossified kind of turd like an old school cigar.
Yeah.
And I remember asking that you.
I must have been sleepwalking.
Yeah. I remember you saying as much.
Yeah.
When you caught me looking, you said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sleepwalking."
Please don't wake me.
Yeah. I said I'm sleepwalking. Please don't call the police.
Please don't wake me or call the police. I'll let myself out.
Yeah.
Can I keep this? Yes, you can. Yeah.
I'd rather you kept it.
I'd rather you took that with you. Is that grey chalk? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really got much more to say on it, really.
Are you concerned?
I wasn't until now. Like I thought, hey, that'll be a funny topic. But now that you've sort of said that Bradley's aren't grey and that maybe it's Dumpling, I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, she is weird. So.
Is it possible she's doing it out of spite?
This'll fox the fucker.
Like she's concentrating really hard.
She does concentrate very hard when she shits. I've watched her shit a good few times.
She's probably bored. She's probably thinking, this will be funny. If I just make them grey for a bit.
I mean, you say you're worried about the colour. I'd be more worried about the sound, which apparently is now that of an old school biplane being the engine being turned over.
Like a one-stroke engine from the 40s. Yeah.
I think the fact that it comes out like ash and kind of smouldering slightly.
There's like a little poof of like dry smoke, kind of like a cough, but from the other end, like when it comes out. Yeah. And particulate, like sort of, kind of like a volcanic eruption, like a pyroclastic cloud is ejected temporarily. But
would you be more or what would be worse at this point if the turds started coming out but now they were green, or your cat no longer shat but instead you heard like a little poof, and then like in Mission Impossible when the letter self-destructs, there was like a little trail of smoke coming out of her butthole.
Yeah, probably the latter. Yeah, I think
Good call.
I'm constantly fearful of the fact that she may poop somewhere that I don't know about. Because, like, but here's the thing with a cat, a house cat particularly, and the cat litter, like, relationship we have, is there's a trust there, you know, that she will always use that. And 99% of the time, maybe she does. But maybe there are secret turds in my house somewhere. I wouldn't know until I found them.
You will definitely one day find a turd somewhere you weren't expecting.
I think you're right, but I might think it's a piece of chalk, and I might just put it back in my chalks.
The thing is, 99% sounds good, but if you sold me a car and said that 99% of the time it won't just veer into oncoming traffic, and like I would,
you think how many poos animals have a day? Let's say it's 2, 3, maybe 4.
I think it's
depending on the animal.
Yeah,
that's less than a month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how many shits?
So every month there is an errant turd somewhere in your house.
Yeah, which means we've had Dumpling just over a year, so there are 12 rogue turds.
Yeah,
somewhere
this is
in
the
my
worst
house.
subscription I've ever heard about.
This is becoming a lot more challenging to me the more I think about it. Like, so they come out wet. Like, they don't come out like charred. It's not like it's burnt to a crisp. Like, what?
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe there's a lot more friction now, and maybe they're burning as they come out.
So are we talking a light grey or a dark grey?
That point that I'm about to answer is the most perturbing part, because it's a light grey.
Oh no.
Yeah. See, if it was a dark grey, you could sort of go, oh, that's kind of close to brown, dark brown poo colour. That's fine. But
Are we talking like an off-white?
We're talking. Well, no, it's a bit darker than that. We're talking like. I need to think of something as an example.
If only an artist were here to describe a colour.
I don't know colours.
I can see in your webcam right now a chrome finish kind of lamp.
Yeah, it's kind of. If you took the shine off that and you were left with a grey, yeah, that's kind of the shade.
That's really challenging.
It is, because when you see it, like, it's when you see it in the litter box, it's like someone has used the magic wand tool on Photoshop to select that Todd and then reduced the saturation to 0 and then lightened it on a slider. It looks, you know, when you do that to things in Photoshop, they sort of look like they don't fit with the world anymore. Like somehow you've broken them and the lighting doesn't work and the shadows don't work and everything. I'm sure we can all relate to that. And that's what they look like. They look like they've been added in afterwards in like CGI or something. They don't look like they really should be. Maybe they're quantum shits. Like they're not really here, but they are.
Why is poo normally brown?
I don't know.
Hang
on, I'll just Google
There
that.
is a chemical in humans, at least, called bilirubin, which is what gives human turds their colour.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, now I didn't know that.
This is true actually, I have a genetic condition called...
Oh, here we go.
Yours are like neon pink, are they?
They look like glow sticks.
They're very thin, but also very long,
So
like they
long.
coil. Yeah.
But they have an immense tensile strength like a rope.
come out like like a spiralizer, and
You can hang from a tree on them sometimes.
oh god. But yeah, I apparently have Gilbert syndrome, which only 12% of the population have.
Oh, is that your hand thing?
No, that's Rain.
Is that when you grab your shit between your fingers?
That's Raynaud's disease, I think.
I've got so many problems, I can't keep up with them.
You've got so many names for all your various.
No,
ailments.
I have Gilbert syndrome, which 12% of the population have. It does nothing. It really does nothing to you. Apparently, you have slightly more bilirubin in your blood. So yes, I am full of shit. And
does that mean your poop is darker?
well, I don't know. We'd have to do a side-by-side comparison, I would imagine.
Let's do it.
With dumplings as a control.
This is both ends of the spectrum. John versus dumpling, and anywhere in between.
Yeah. But apparently, it might give me a degree of protection against heart disease.
So it's not really a disease then. It has no symptoms, and you might have a protection against heart disease. That's that's a superpower, John.
It does sound more like a superpower.
That's like an X-Man mutation rather than a disease.
Yeah, the only reason I know is that I had a blood test at one point, and the doctor just mentioned it offhand, saying like, "Oh yeah, you got Gilbert syndrome." I was like, "Oh, cool."
Cool, I guess.
Nice.
Doesn't sound like a very caring doctor to me.
No.
Well, again, would you care about Gilbert syndrome?
Well, not now that I know what it is.
Apparently, also, it would explain you can get a little jaundiced sometimes if you're tired or drunk, and my eyes do get quite a little yellow and bloodshed when I drink.
You do spend a lot of time both tired and drunk.
But again, we don't have a control group here because I'm nearly always drunk, so I don't know what
true.
normal
Well,
is
Dumpling
anymore.
doesn't drink, I don't think. She's been right here next to me the whole time I've been talking about her shit, but she doesn't seem that embarrassed or like
Loves it.
doesn't really have an issue with it at all. So.
Maybe she's recently shifted from beer to brown liquor, and she's having whiskey shits.
That could be it. It could be it.
Anyway, if we've kind of ridden the turd train as far as it will go, I have a couple of
now.
I have a couple of listener submissions.
Oh,
if
throw them
anyone's-
at us, John. Throw them at us.
Yes, I love listener submissions. The listeners are the lifeblood of this show. I always say.
You've always said it. Every episode you say it.
I say it every time.
Yeah.
We always put them at the heart of everything we do, and really just extend a great deal of respect and care towards
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah,
do, yeah.
That's what I've always said.
But could you just hurry through it, please, for fuck's sake?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we got to get back to the real content. Friend of the show, Andrew writes, I love walking.
Oh,
I believe he means walking either with purpose or without, rather than the ability to ambulate.
sure.
So he's saying, so particularly in the current situation, he's been finding it quite a relief to actually get out and walk a bit. He says it's doing a lot for his mental health at the moment. But he does point out that one thing he hates is his sense of direction, because he went for a walk and ended up getting massively lost and finding a hotel and then not wanting to go in because he thought it looked a bit weird and suspicious. And we are currently social distancing, so he ended up having to walk down a major road to return home.
Do we know if he did get home? Is he messaging?
He did get home, although Chris Ray will be able to appreciate this, that in addition to getting lost and having to walk along a major road and cut across fields, he also kept hearing weird noises like a strained, distant screaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be peacocks.
Oh no.
Peacocks are the worst.
Yeah, they're your worst enemy.
I like a peacock.
They are deceptive in their appearance, and that is further evidence of such deception.
What wigs you out more? Is it like a peacock potentially clawing your eyes out, or a peacock just fanning you and looking magnificent and making you feel inferior?
Well,
Speak for yourself.
I think the longer term damage would be the psychological option.
Yeah.
However, I don't like being clawed at in a general sense.
Sure.
So
No.
I would just rather avoid peacocks altogether. If that can be an option.
But then
It's not an option, I'm afraid.
that's
Sorry.
that's not really a life. What you're describing,
All
you might
right,
as well be dead.
I'll take the psychological warfare then, because I could probably do some damage.
What
You're
back?
asking me, a world of
I can tell its plumage isn't as good as, its mates.
That's true. You could spread
That would probably weigh on it.
You could spread your own bone plumage out as well and see what it thinks of that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I mean, don't.
Have you ever,
All right, okay.
at the times in your life where you have been intimidated by a peacock, have you ever been tempted to try and step to it? Like
Why? No.
Oh,
Why would I do that?
Because my point, that peacock is upstaging you.
you'll probably win. You're
It's not about upstaging. It's about the fact that I feel a peacock could and would do serious damage.
And yet you're
It's like a swan. You wouldn't have a fight with a swan.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm not saying have a physical fight. I'm saying have a psychological fight.
Yeah.
Well, how would you impress a peacock?
But then even then you run the risk of it attacking you physically. It's like you can't argue with a moron.
I think John's feeling that right now.
They'll just hit you. That's what a peacock is, the equivalent of a human moron.
Well, moving on, we have friend of the show Ned writes, we're in with a couple of petty hates, which we have to admit are the greatest songs out there.
They are.
True that.
Okay, Rev, you'll be able to relate to this. Ned says, I hate it in third-person shooters.
Oh yeah.
Which
Video
he,
games.
What's that? What is that?
he clarifies for your benefit is a type of video game. When you play as some kind of military badass, and then all you can do in close combat is the same canned animation of limply swinging the butt of your rifle at people. It really breaks the immersion.
There you go.
How does that make you feel?
I didn't understand most of those words. Well, I'll tell you what. Nick did us a quiz very kindly a few days ago,
I did.
and I got 4 out of 10 on his video game round.
You did. So
It's
you're
pretty good.
So you're better at video game things than you think.
Yeah, so I was quite pleased with that. But yeah, in terms of what you just said, John, I don't know what you're talking about. A third-person shooter is you're looking at the character.
Oh, he's got it.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So, first person, you're in that character's head, kind of
Looking out
staring
of his
out of their
eyes.
hollow eye sockets. Second person has never existed.
I think
I
that,
don't
that
think.
it's loosely like you're connected to their shoulder, but I don't think anyone would really call it that.
Okay.
And then third person, you're kind of following directly behind the protagonist, like gently
Sure.
whispering into their ears, saying
Yeah.
Like
Good
Mario
job.
Kart.
Like Mario Kart. That's a third
like Mario
person game.
Kart. Yeah, good work.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And something about shooting.
So yeah, what he's getting at is
shooting.
that when you get to close combat in a shooting game, if you hit like the melee attack, normally they just do this like and they sort of swing the butt of the gun and just try and knock.
Okay.
But because you tend to spam that button, you end up looking like a sort of like kind of weirdo because you're just like
Oh.
and you don't really look like this military badass that you're supposedly meant to be with all this training that you're meant to have had.
Oh yeah. I hate that.
well, I think
yeah,
it's not.
I know you do.
I think there's a reason it's not called a third person, fully rounded person game. Like it's called a third person or a first person shooter.
That's what you're
So-
meant to be doing is shooting people.
Yeah. So like I don't know.
Did he run out of ammo?
Maybe. Or he's conserving
what-
ammo.
Why is he hitting people?
Maybe he's
rather
like-
than shooting. If it's a shooter, why is he hitting?
Exactly.
From
I
the
think
mouth
you've-
of babes. Like
I think you've
just-
hit on it. I think you've hit on it. Ned,
Yeah.
you idiot.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I bet you feel pretty stupid now,
Don't
Ned.
don't hit. Shoot. There you
Don't
go. That's
hit,
my advice.
Shoot. That should be on a t-shirt.
That's my advice.
Yeah.
Well, Ned. Thanks for writing in, Ned. We hope that was of use. We do have a
It
second
almost
hate.
certainly wasn't.
Now we've got a weird one here where we have a second hate from Ned, which relates to an advert, and he has described the advert and linked to it, and the sound of it is so embarrassing that I have not brought myself to actually click on it. He's
Yeah, so
making me.
Yeah, I didn't want to either, but I have watched it because of his comment, and
Okay.
it's every bit as bad as he hoped it was.
Okay, so Ned was saying there is currently an ad running in the UK for a leading bank. There are many banks out there. Many are
yes.
available. Have you seen this then? Have you?
I think I have seen this. Yeah.
He says
now I didn't. I couldn't remember what the post was, to be honest. But now I remember. I have seen this advert. Yeah.
Okay, I will describe it for the benefit of those who haven't seen it and those like me who have no desire to see it. He says there is an ad running at the moment for a bank in which a couple recite a god-awful poem about how they'll have to have a wedding ruined by coronavirus. He's saying, now frankly, he makes some very cruel comments about the couple. No, he doesn't. No, Ned, you're entirely right. But he does say, maybe don't read awful poetry and maybe just postpone it a bit.
Yeah, like the way they talk in the ad, it's so cringy and it's so like so clearly they're not a real couple or whatever.
Hey,
trying to be, but whatever. Actors trying to pretend to be normal people, which is probably the worst thing about it. But the whole sort of premise is that their wedding was going to take place during lockdown.
Okay.
And that now the poem is sort of like evoking this sense of like a sort of restricted wedding where they're not going to be able to have champagne and they're not going to be able to walk down the aisle and they won't be able to have a wedding cake and they won't have a band, they'll just have Spotify on. And that's kind of like, but it's like all of that isn't true because as Ned rightly points out, you could just postpone it. And if you have wedding insurance, then you can.
Surely you would.
Did I have wedding insurance?
You would either have the wedding at home through choice or postpone it.
Yeah, but it's this weird mix of like they're trying to get sympathy, but at the same time they're like trying to make the best of it. So it's like, which is it? Are you happy to have this lockdown wedding, or was this a pity party? Which one is it?
I think we can't escape the fact that this is not a viral video sensation, which I'm looking at the thumbnail, which Maria and Matt, if those are their real names, put up on YouTube. This is an advert for a leading national bank.
Yes, which I believe is on television.
So, it says in the thumbnail, written and performed by Maria and Matt. And I'm like, was it though?
Was it though? I mean, I think there's some potential ad standards thing here where to say that, I think it actually has to be true.
But what was the journey?
Surely if they hired two actors to go into a room together at the moment, that would cause more problems than good.
You might be right, or they filmed this, or they predicted the virus outbreak because nationwide. Oh, I said it! Oh no!
Yeah. There's always the chance they did that. Yeah.
Do they ever cross the line? Like, could it be that they're both in completely separate rooms? They've been maybe they did it on Zoom and just kind of had a matching background or something. Okay, but assuming they are real people.
Okay, let's assume that.
Let's go on that journey.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
What happened? I'm picturing somebody at this nameless bank, Nick.
Yes.
Someone
definitely
at
not
this
nationwide.
Bank.
Why are we not allowed to say?
It's too late. I fucking shouted.
Oh, it's fine. Okay. So someone at nationwide headquarters is like, we need a heartwarming story. We need to capitalize on what's currently going down to prove that we're a caring company.
That we're a caring bank.
And they're like, we can't fake it. For once in our lives, we can't fake it.
God damn it, we can't this time,
We
Roy.
need genuine people and genuine emotions. And they go, let's reach out to our customers. Maybe they do a quick little survey, like who's had plans which have had to change.
Yeah, but this is such a weird situation that you're describing here. But okay, let's roll with it.
But then
I've actually had two friends have had to postpone weddings.
Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I can think of someone who's had to do it as well.
Yeah, so
and it sucks. But okay, so they narrow in on this couple, and then nationwide go, do you want to be in an advert? And they're like, okay. And they go, what's worse? Do they say, we wrote you a poem which you have to read out, or we want you to write a poem and we will screen it unedited?
What if they approached Nationwide with their poem?
Why would
anyone think to do
that?
That's
so alien. I'm not saying it's not possible, but that is baffling to me.
The best case I can think here is that Nationwide ran some sort of strange contest where they put out on social media or whatever, in public somehow. They were like, do you want to be in a Nationwide ad? Tell us a story in a poem about how your plans have been changed by the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And they got a shit ton of submissions, maybe. And they picked this one because it had the most, what they thought, heartstrings.
I would say that is the most likely scenario.
But even then, like,
is it becoming like almost like a competition in one-upmanship for all these companies to prove how much they care and how much they're with us? Like, we're with you, we got your back. Like, during the current situation.
Bank account adverts have been very manipulative for some years. It's like the one where the woman finds a man's scarf and returns it to him.
And she's an employee of the bank.
She works for the bank. It's like, well, that's fine, but it doesn't do anything about my interest rate.
No, and then there's that Lloyd's. I think it's a Lloyd's ad. Again, I'm just saying the bank. Fuck it, who cares? Like, they can weather the fucking storm we bring down on them. But like, where there's all these people on the beach and they're all like waiting, and then a load of horses come, and then they go up to the horses, and the horses are like nuzzling up against their hands, and then it just goes Lloyd's. You're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Are the horses like a grim spectre of future of things to come?
And you're like, yeah, but Lloyd's, I lost my card. Please help me.
Yeah.
If a horse turned up with my lost card every time I misplaced my wallet, I'd be overjoyed. I would bank with Lloyd's if they could guarantee that would happen.
If that was their service, I'd switch banks right now to
How would a horse know how to return a card to you when you haven't got any numbers on your house?
Yeah, John.
If a horse can read the 16 numbers on my card, like but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
It can't cross bridges. Oh, good
But
God.
again, what are they appealing to? Because we've had banks use like Top Cat and the Flintstones to sell like
mortgages.
A high interest saving account. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what do they think people want now? Like, sadly we are the demographic that's being pandered to.
We're being targeted with this.
The only time I've been with one bank my entire life, and that's not because they're great. I don't know if they're great, but it's just the bank I'm with. That's how clueless I am. I'm just with them.
Who the fuck chooses a bank?
Like a sensible person.
Oh, shit. Right, okay. Shit.
I just bought a whetstone. What do I know? Like, I just bought a whetstone so I'd never have to buy a knife again. Like, I'm not a banker's friend. They hate me.
You're saving money in the long term there, John.
Yeah.
The only time I've considered trading banks is because at one point you could get a custom image printed on your credit card. Yeah.
It's probably like
my favourite comic character.
Like a stretched PNG of your own face, like just across the card.
It was like an elongated image of me screaming. So every time I put it into the car, what? Oh my God! It's been so long since I went outside. What do you get money out of?
Yeah, shit. I haven't used my bank card in so long.
Cash machine, yeah.
ATM.
So every time I put it into an ATM, it's like I'm being Augustus glooped, like, which is my deepest fetish.
I was going to say
that reminds me of we had a friend, John and I, who knew an actor. And this actor had a business card that had it's like James Smith or whatever his name was, actor.
Nice.
And the business card was his face. So we said, well, you should turn it round and it should be the back of your head. He didn't like that. He didn't like that suggestion, as I recall.
Remarkable.
God, that would be amazing.
Have we got some loves then?
Okay, I've got a love.
Go on then.
Go for it.
I love cooking everything from scratch at home.
Okay.
It's kind of like a weird...
You like homemade food?
Yeah, I like homemade.
You like homemade food.
Yeah, I do. And
see, we've sort of crossed over.
Yeah, this is my point. I enjoy cooking, and I think the current situation has been a wonderful opportunity to get a lot of cooking done, to actually develop my cooking. I think I'm at an all-time high right now. And the other day, I made fish fingers and chips utterly from scratch.
You made the fish fingers?
I made the fish fingers.
What? Were they as good as bird's eye, though?
Better.
What oven temperature did you cook them at?
I don't believe you. Oh, he sent me a picture. You sent me a picture of your oven temperature the other day. 210.
210?
Madness.
210?
Only psychopaths put their ovens on 210.
Blackened fish fingers.
There's two ships you're no longer a part of, Rev. That's the good ship, friendship, and Captain, I was going to say Mr. Kipling's fishing vessel.
Mr. Kipling,
Kipling's Tart of Doom.
Mr. Kipling's short-lived fishing vessel.
Would you like a Mr. Kipling fish pie? No,
No, I really don't.
Definitely not.
Oh, it's very creamy. No.
Oh God, why is it creamy? Why?
Yeah.
But no, it's like I feel I don't want to get. I'm not going to make any claims beyond my station in life. But yeah, like the old cooking game's pretty good. I got some fish, got a little bit of fish, and a bit of bassa. That's kind of like my fish of choice.
I do like a bassa.
Oh, it's very good. And rather than doing my usual thing, which is to I don't know, to smear it in peanut butter and chew on it for a bit, I cut it into slivers.
Uh-huh.
I took some of my homemade breadcrumbs.
Oh yes.
Very nice.
Which I made by putting a couple of slices of bread in the oven at like 70 degrees for 3 hours, and then grinding them. And then I floured the fish strips. I dunked them in egg. I dunked them in my homemade breadcrumbs and seasoned them. And then I put them in the oven for like.
So it's basically your chicken nugget recipe.
Yes, and the only reason I didn't fry them is that at the same time I had a giant sweet potato, like a really big ass sweet potato, and I chopped it into chips. First time I've ever done it. And I boiled them for a bit, and then dunked them into a frying pan and shallow fried them, or sautéed, as the French would say.
Yes.
And they turned out an absolute treat. And I know that's not rocket science. I know there are many, many better cooks, better home cooks than I, who did it, but who do this all the time. And yet I realised once I plated it up that I'd made kind of like. Maybe not like a good restaurant quality, but kind of like a decent gastropub kind of fish and chips. I was very impressed.
Ah, well done. I'm sure I'd have fucked it up. So that's great.
I definitely would have fucked it up.
Yeah, but you don't need as much effort to just get like a sausage roll from the fridge.
That's true.
Well, I can't say much here because I've just slagged off home cooking. So, I'm sure Captain Birdseye probably could have done it better.
You must have made something you're proud of, Rev.
What's the note? Okay.
God, like once in your life, you must have cooked something and gone, yeah, that's all right.
That's all right. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
Nothing springs to mind, if I'm honest.
I remember you trying to make Toad in the Hole for us once.
Oh yeah. I got the measurements wrong.
Yeah, and after like 4 hours of cooking it, and we just had sausages swimming in soup.
Yeah, it was. That's what it was.
We made the executive decision to fish them out.
The second time I made it, yeah, I know, I remember that. The second time I did it, I actually got the measurements right, and it was all right. It was fine.
Good,
but not as good as Aunt Bessie's.
No, again, you're right. No one's questioning that. They fulfill different needs. And maybe your Toad in the Hole wasn't solid, but we got some lovely sausages and
you got some lovely
chewy
battery sausages.
Got a chewy drink out of it as well, so it was fine.
Yeah,
a lumpy,
delightful.
chewy drink.
Yeah, so that's my thing. It's I've made, like I said, I've made utterly homemade fish and chips, and they were delicious. And making some killer tomato sauces at the moment, all from scratch.
Delightful. Well done.
Feeling quite in my element.
Good for you. Well, in the interest of self-improvement, my love is driving.
Oh,
thank God the roads are empty.
Yeah, thank Christ.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason I am doing it. I haven't driven really since I was 17.
Not since the incident.
And I'm 30 and a bit now.
And changed.
So, yeah. And I haven't driven for that long. So I've only really started again this last couple of months.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm sort of feeling a lot more confident with it, so I'm quite pleased with myself.
Do you say
from that point of view?
You haven't driven since you were 17?
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't it amazing to think you've now spent more of your life with a driving license than without?
Yeah, that's depressing, is what it is. And I've never needed that driving license. I think I've still got my old address on it. Actually, I should sort that out.
Probably add that to the list.
Yeah.
Well, how did you find it? Out the road.
I've been driving around everywhere. I'm driving around town. I drove to Swindon and
be.
back the other week. I shouldn't be. No, this was to take the dog to the. This was to take the dog for some surgery.
Okay, I'll allow that. I'll allow it.
We started with some of that laser eye surgery, you know. But yeah, I've got my confidence back with it, so I'm quite pleased with that.
You know what they say? It's like riding a bike.
That's it, really. There's nothing beyond that. I'm just showing off, really.
No, that's great. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Good for you. Top. Did you have a top down?
No,
not
unless I want to not unless I want to permanently damage the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just. Okay, well, good.
Did I put?
I'm
the
trying
city,
to.
The city was on lockdown.
Did you feel like a Maverick Renegade?
What in the Ford Fiesta?
Yeah.
Sure.
Since
I'm just desperately trying to make sure there are no cars within about 6 feet of mine.
I'm just desperate.
So I've got nothing to crash into.
I'm just desperately trying to wring a joke out of this, and I'm struggling.
Oh. Joke. Something funny. Something funny.
About,
well, it finally happened.
We peaked.
We peaked too soon.
You realise that
Nick's probably got something funny to say.
You realise
about his love.
In the inevitable documentary about our career, this is like the Act 2 low point.
And it was episode 60 where it all fell apart.
Little did.
Well, this is all about self-improvement, and there's absolutely no humour in self-improvement.
It's true.
Little did the boys realise that what they assumed was a creative blip was really just the end. Like this is where it stopped. The day the laughter died.
Well, I'm not going to help much really with mine, but I've been watching a lot of anime on screens.
Now, Chris, anime.
Now let's go to that building where our beds and TV is.
Now, Chris, in case you're confused, anime is a lot like The Simpsons.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But manufactured in Japan.
And they have bigger eyes.
Understand.
They have much bigger eyes.
Those big eye cartoons.
Bigger eyes than in The Simpsons.
Yes, bigger than that. Can you imagine that? Anyway, there's one thing that I quite like in a lot of these sort of Japanese battle combat stories, which is this idea that like people have a certain kind of energy or pressure around them, and that other people
like
can
gas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that other people, when they get close to them, can detect it almost like they're such a strong warrior. It's like, what is this energy I can feel coming off of him? Or like, what is this immense pressure from this man? And I can't imagine what it's like, unless it is a gas, unless it is like a bowel movement. I can't imagine what it's like to walk up to someone and suddenly go and feel something immense coming off of them. I like it.
So what's your love?
That. Just all of that.
So wait, it's not anime. It's
No. Oh, I don't love anime.
So it's not anime. I can't stand it.
I'll hardly watch it.
So it's not anime.
No.
It's not even the fact that fantastical characters exist with superhuman powers. It's the fact that some people comment on the fact
some
that
people
someone else
have a weird pressure that comes off of them that other people can feel. Yes, it's that specific. Yeah.
In real life or in anime?
Just in anime, I think. Unless it's based on real life. I didn't know, but I don't feel it personally, so I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but yeah.
Great.
You know when you said the driving bit was our low point, I think we may have just beaten that.
Hey, remember when I talked about home cooking?
Oh, those were simple times.
Classic times, yeah.
Those days, I long for them.
Wow.
Well, not every episode can be a winner.
No, I
feel like we were onto a winner until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, wow. I guess we should have just ended on the hate, I guess.
Yeah.
I
say that every week.
We can still cut it.
Yeah, but you're a belligerent asshole.
Yeah.
That's your excuse.
I know.
Well, okay. Well, I wow. Okay, what a way to finish up our 60th episode.
60.
I think we all know.
What is a 60 wedding gift? Diamond? Did you say?
Diamond.
This is a
diamond.
Wee. So. Well, I think we all know which one won.
It's just like. Yeah, okay. What won? Love or hate? Because format is everything.
Hate one.
Hate.
Because we got got much more laughs and content from that.
It could be that we're recording later and it's got a bit late and we're just shutting down. Like, this is it.
Maybe
it is way past my bedtime.
Maybe this is what you were talking about how like I can't even remember if this was off air or on air. My brain is dying as we talk about this, but
There
like
you go, see?
we've been in this situation so long now that everything is kind of smearing into like a new normal.
There's no new anymore.
Nothing is new. There are no highs or lows. Everything is
Maybe we should launch a spin-off show called Equilibrium.
A show called Meh.
A show called
Beige.
Purgatory.
Well, this has been a delight. Even if we apparently
Forgot how to end it.
have lost the ability to talk or even entertain. But yeah, well, this has been great. I guess we should just end it then.
I think we should just end it here.
Let's do that then.